My name is Isaiah Flack, and today I'm interviewing a teacher here at Bluefield High School, Mr. Christopher Eames. He is a world social studies teacher, a world history teacher here, and he's going to answer a couple questions for me concerning my senior capstone project. So, Mr. Eames, how old were you? So, like, what grade was you in when schools was first desegregated?
I was in elementary school, Mercer County. Bluefield had bought into it first. Princeton had a hard time buying into the integration of the schools. I believe I was in the third grade when it happened.
So, like, going through that and like seeing it, what was it like to you to see it?
Well, at first, the only kids I'd ever gone to school with were white kids. And then all of a sudden in the third grade, we had black kids in class, and I didn't know what was going on, but evidently they had taken an elementary school in the heart of the black section of Princeton, believe it or not, and they pulled the black kids out and sent them to the elementary schools. They left a few of the smart ones there. The idea was that they were going to make a magnet school. So they took some of the so-called smarter white kids from the various schools and they put us all into one school. But the idea was they sold it to Princeton as a magnet school for smart kids, but it was all under, the idea that we got to get these schools integrated. So that's how it happened.
Okay, so the school you attended, was it primarily white after segregation or primarily black, you think?
No, after segregation, or you mean after integration?
Yeah, I mean after desegregation.
Yeah,
after
desegregation.
integration. I apologize.
Well, like I said, school was predominantly, it was all white.
Mm-hmm.
And then after integration, yeah, then we had a little bit, it was different. It was, but it wasn't different in a bad way. It was just different in the fact that we had black kids in class now.
Okay.
Some were good friends of mine.
So you said you went to a school here in Mercer County.
Princeton. Yeah, I went to Mercer School for elementary, and then I went to Dunbar, which was the magnet school. And then I had I was fortunate because I had a fifth grade history teacher named Ms. Brammer.
Okay.
And she kind of got me started onto the history thing, and it was really kind of neat. So I can tell you some stories about her. She was an awesome teacher.
Okay. You have any personal experiences besides the school with like segregation?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you a couple things that I remember. One, I know that Coach Gilliard. It's kind of funny. He's about 3 years older than I am, and I remember when the schools integrated, we would all meet at Mercer School. But I remember him being one of the nicest guys, and the fact that he gave me the time of day, that he talked to me. He's a sixth grader. I'm a third grader. He's this big kid, this big black kid. I'm like, oh my God, I'm intimidated by kids anyway that are bigger than me. And he was the nicest guy. And I never forgot that. And when I showed up here to teach and he was here, I was just like, and I told him about it. So he never knew that. But he comes from good people.
Yeah.
So.
Did you ever like experience any say discrimination around you to any black people?
I saw it happen a lot to people. I wasn't a part of it necessarily. Was I a person that might have been like, a gang that would show up and watch what's going on? Sure, absolutely. I mean, just like a kid would be anyway. But yeah, and there was some racial tension, especially at the upper levels in high school.
Did you ever confront any like discrimination, or did you just like
no
cup of tea?
Probably should have stepped in a couple of times, and I never did. I just saw it happen a lot more with the older kids. There was definitely some racial tension between the older kids, especially when it came to interracial relationships.
So like you like decided to stay away from it because it was
Well,
older, or
I never
because-
looked at it as a black and white issue. To me, people were people. I'd been around black people since I was a kid, and to me, people were just people. I knew what was going. I mean, I had a sense of that. People were people. I knew the N word was bad. I knew what it meant. I knew